You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today,
I don't know how to get out of this.
now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank account, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are
Just hammer it all out.
Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
The way I always do. How was I to know? She was with the Russians too. I was gambling in Havana. I took a little risk. Send lawyers, guns, and money. Dad, get me out of this. Ha!
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Otherwise known
known as Chat Lives Matter Night, right here live on KLR Radio, and what would normally be the last day of the month, but it's fucking leap years, so the month that never ends gets one more day. Why is it for such a short month it feels like this one's gone on forever? Granted, it wasn't as bad as January, because January felt like it was 5 years long, but this one was maybe 2. Anyway, I'm one half of the crew, Mr. Rick Robinson. He's the other half, Mr. Ordy Packard, otherwise known as everybody's favorite butter-churning Amish lawyer, or beggar of mom's.
Is there another kind?
Oops, hang on. I just realized I have 2 inputs open for you, so that's going to cause an echo. All right, now we're fixed.
Train leaving Grand Central. Yeah, so, the great thing about tomorrow being a leap day, though, is that whatever you do, just absolutely go nuts. Take all kinds of pictures of it, and it won't show up on your timeline again for 4 years.
I think it's funny.
Live life to the fullest.
I think it's funny because a female friend of mine who's, like one of those man-hating people, put out a meme the other day that said, we've now reached the part of the year where man will always be right. And it's February 29th, 30th, and 31st. And I pointed out it was a leap year, so she deleted the post. It's like, ha! Gotcha. Anyway.
Okay. Maybe it's just because I have been so busy and with my, taking the last week to break my computer down and everything else, too, is that, did this Black History Month seem kind of normal to you?
I was wondering the same thing. I haven't seen any of the usual weird stuff. I'm like, what the? I don't understand.
It's like, okay, yeah, obviously, you're going to have your social media presence. You're going to have your Amazon and Prime and, your streaming services doing their thing, as they should. And I absolutely, I'm great with all that. What I love is that this year, for the first time in a long time, it hasn't absolutely been beat down my throat.
I don't know if it's because there's just...
It was like normal people doing normal things.
Yeah. And it's not except for the whole, the AI being so confused that everybody was black for a day. I still think that may have had something to do with Black History Month and the AI getting really confused. But still, it was terrible.
I'm being generous when I say that, but all the evidence that has come out since then speaks to no.
Oh, I know. I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt until somebody asked it who was worse. Damn, I can't talk today. Elon or Hitler, and it said I don't know. I was like, hello.
That's some, yeah. Now it's different. That, Grok is going to be the one to save us all. Once Grok starts doing images too.
I know, right?
I'm proud to pay. Sorry, I just can't give up these pumpkin seeds.
No, you're all good. Although the fact that you're eating again is making me even more hungry since I haven't been able to even have dinner yet, and you already eat sushi.
Dude, I didn't get to stop for lunch today. I put that sushi down, and now this is just a snack because I am definitely burping that sushi up.
Well, it's not the sushi; it's the wasabi.
Well, that got me too, yeah. But no, that was spicy on top of spicy. Which, by the way, if you have a sushi joint that does a California roll, and they also do diced jalapenos, get that in the California roll. It'll change your life. And by the way, if your sushi place calls it something else, it's crab and avocado and cream cheese. Is a California roll.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, and I have been since my divorce trying new things, but I still have not been able to bring myself to try sushi. And I understand there's a common American misconception about what most sushi is, but I still can't get around that mental misconception of what most sushi is. So I have not been able to convince myself to try it yet. I'm trying to work my way up to it, though, I promise. Eventually. Maybe.
Good luck. Okay, California roll is pretty tame, because even when you know what it is, you're not getting, even though it's not, the misconception that it's raw. But crab is pretty, plain. It's a good, it's the gateway drug. That's how I know most people started their path to sushi is through the California roll. Oh, that's right, Jeff. That sucks. I'm sorry. Forgot about that.
Wait, what?
Oh, he can't eat sushi.
Oh. Well, that's just sad. I mean, I've never actually tried to eat it, so for all I know, something inside of it may try to kill me, but still. Doesn't mean I don't want to try.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, so what's grinding your gears? I've been doing lots of talking.
How about
today.
that Gorilla Grip pussy?
I really, really wish that was actually where that came from and not part of the Rust trial. Because if that had been where that came from, that thing would have been viral for days, and then somebody pointed out that it was actually from a different trial, and everybody got really sad really fast.
Yeah, I was
like, no, please.
But I mean, that trial is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. I mean, you know, nothing like being taught by your dad to run your house like it's a crack house. I'm just saying. And then, and this is the thing that just kind of just lets me know exactly how little fucks these people have. So the media starts talking about the fact that there's a program that the FBI has developed that can basically triangulate your position from cell towers and put you within a foot of a location. So I think they said a foot, 2 feet tops anymore. So then they're talking about how this shows that, you know, he was arriving in her residence near her residence years ago, and then that he stayed put from like 9 until 3 or 4 in the morning and then left, and this happened repeatedly. So within a couple of days of them breaking these news stories, all of a sudden she's talking to people about how unreliable the FBI software is, and everybody's eating it up. And I'm just thinking, if you're like a prosecutor and you're admitting that the software that you use, as far as you know, to put people in the vicinity of crime scenes is invalid, you've just opened up appeals for like everybody in your jail, bitch.
Well, let's take that one step further. That's how they targeted most of the January 6ers.
Exactly. So if it's not reliable,
and we were talking. This goes back to when there was the DC riots during the Summer of Love. We were talking about that on Culture Shift on how accurate that is and how everyone there should have been fucked, but they weren't. They saved that for J6. But yeah, no, that has been that FBI tracker location. That has been how most of the defendants have been pinned to being in the area at the time. So if she's invalidating that, might as well invalidate all the J6ers too.
Well, that's why the FBI won't let it happen, and it's why she's about to be hung out to dry, because now, I mean, I don't know whether it works well or not. You have to realize I've been out of that game for 20 years at this point. Over 20 years. That's counting private sector and all of the above at this point. It's been, I got out, well, I guess it hasn't quite been 20 years. I got out in 2009, out of the private sector stuff. So, that would be what's about the same amount of time I've been doing this, so 15, 16 years. So we're getting close.
It actually is that accurate. It's the whole premise of why you're able to shop on Amazon.
Oh, I know.
5G. It pins your signal. So yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's why you now have all these things that are popping up when you get on your phone. Do you want us to use your location to help you with your shopping? And that's because they can put you within a couple of feet of where you are. But yeah, the whole premise of it being broken just because you want to be able to get away with banging a dude. Let me be completely clear. And I had this conversation with Chad Alexander on the phone on Sunday night when I was coming back from a family event, because he called and I'm like, hey, I'm not doing a show. We can check. Cool. And both of us were like, I don't give a shit.
Chad? I haven't heard from him in a long time.
He's doing all right. He's actually going to be coming on for the State of the Union for the panel that we do that night. So, yeah, I can't. He can't do Wednesdays because that's his night with his wife. Otherwise, he'd probably hang out with us a lot more.
No, I get it.
But anyway, so
not to say not for nothing. He'd be fun on He Said She Said.
I kind of thought the same thing. I've actually kind of wondered about asking him for that.
Just putting it out there.
It's more of a let your hair down kind of show, so I may actually talk to him about that after the State of the Union one. Not for that. I mean, that would be like the very next day, so I doubt he'd want to do 2 in a row, but maybe we can get him on. But anyway, so we were talking about it, and both of us basically said the same thing at the same time. I don't give a shit who you're fucking. It's when you start lying about who you're fucking and why you're fucking them that I have a problem. I don't care. I mean, if it's two consenting adults and you're doing things and it's nobody's business but yours, then I don't care what you're doing. But when you start having to lie about what you're doing, and then when it comes out that you're paying this guy, what you swore to the courts was a competitive wage for the work that he was doing, and then it turns out he's making like 50% more than anybody else in the office. And the thing about it is, I don't know who his accountant is, but his accountant should be beating his ass for what he said on the stand, because I don't know a single person who has a business credit card who can put everything on said business credit card and then have their accountant or their tax preparer or whoever go through and separate business from personal without getting dick slapped by the IRS, because that is a big no-no. That is called commingling of your expenses, and it becomes very, very hard to prove what was business, what was personal, if you have something that is flagged as a business credit card. Now, if you don't have one of those, then yes, they can go through and commingle, because I did that a lot when I ran my security company, because I had a business bank account and a business debit card, and I also had a personal bank account and a personal debit card. But there were times when one account didn't have money in it, the other one did, so I would make purchases using my personal account and flag those for the accountant. But I never did anything with the business debit card that was considered for personal reasons, because that was the first thing my accountant told me not to do. So this whole idea that he can basically charge all of this stuff and then she's supposedly paying him back in cash. We know how she was paying you back, motherfucker, and it wasn't cash. She was paying you back in other ways, my dude. You just couldn't admit that on the stand. I've seen her in the dress. That is a $20 bucket from KFC, not a Gorilla Grip. I'm just saying.
See, and that's, the one thing, getting back to your point about it's the lying, it's not the actual doing it. How many politicians and, just general people in general have had their downfall not from the scandal, but from the cover-up?
The cover-up is always worse than the crime. There's a reason. That's an old saying that's been around for forever.
Yeah. It just admit to it. It's like, yeah, I got some nookie, and you look at her and you go, well, good on you, because that man's a saint.
Dude, from the way she talked about him on the stand, she's just like, well, I hate to tear apart your timeline, but he had some cancer stuff going on, so your timeline would be impossible. I'm like, you just basically said dude needs dick pills. The hell?
Right.
The whole thing, and then she turns him into a misogynist, and he's like, yeah, we talked about it, and he was used to women that would do basically one thing for him other than make him a sandwich, and I'm not one of those women. I'm like, so you're banging a dude that was a misogynist who paid to take you on all these trips? Granted, it was money that your office paid him, but still, he was the one footing the bill, because he admitted to putting them all on his business credit card. But if both of them are not audited this year, I would be thoroughly surprised.
Well, the IRS has its own problems right now.
Well, yeah. Well, the
IRS make them actually work.
Yeah.
Go to the office and shit.
Well, the IRS has other problems, because now Joe Biden is sick.
In short, my dick hard.
Yeah. IRS is being sicked onto gig workers because they're trying to force everybody back onto a W-2 now. It never fails. I go back to gig work for the most part, and now they're like, you can't do that anymore.
Well, hey, at least they didn't make it illegal like they did in California.
They're trying to, though. That's the whole point.
No, I know. California was the test balloon for making gig work illegal nationwide. Whenever you see California pass a really stupid fucking law, that's a test balloon.
Well, and the thing about it is, Gene put an article about this out on Newsmax earlier this week, talking about how, the states used to be the laboratories for democracy, and then we kind of got away from that. And then I'm like, not really, because the leftist states still do stupid shit all the time. And then when the leftists are in charge of the federal government, they run with the stupid shit. That's like two things that caught my attention this week. Now there is apparently a state senator of something or other that is now calling for a $50 an hour federal minimum wage from your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Which is going to lead to robots running everything, in case anybody's wondering.
Well, okay, so we've already got the, we've got the $20 minimum wage for food service workers, right?
For everybody but Panera. Yeah.
Right. So you have, we talked about this. You've got Roundtable just saying, you know what, kick rocks. We're not going to hire delivery drivers anymore. They can, get on DoorDash and shit like that, right? So the next thing that happened, and I know a lot of you saw the viral tweet on, obviously Twitter, since it was a tweet, about dude ranting about Subway being $20 for a fucking footlong now. And ever since then, I've had the song for the $5 footlong stuck in my head. Thank you very much, Subway, for bringing that back in the worst way possible.
I miss $5 footlongs, though.
But, I mean, what blows my mind is, okay, so that sushi I had tonight?
Yeah.
Amazing. Fucking $12. $13 for a roll. I got 2 rolls. And still cheaper than the last time I went to McDonald's.
Well, the scary thing is, like, here, right, and I noticed this when I went on a road trip last year. So I drove to Ohio to hang out with a chick that I'd been talking to, who turns out was just weird, but that's a story for another day.
Why did you ever go to Ohio?
Well, because, well,
sorry, I had to do the Frankie Avalon back to the beach thing.
Yeah, well, so first we met in the middle and hung out in Missouri for a while, and then I decided to go up for one more trip. So it was towards the end of summer, so I went ahead and just drove to Ohio to hang out with her just to see if we were still clicking, and of course we weren't because we're not talking anymore. But I noted, because I was like starving, because I pretty much driven straight back through. So I stopped, and this is in Oklahoma, mind you, and this is almost 2 years ago at this point. And I stopped to get Subway, and one fucking sandwich was $13. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is fucking Oklahoma. I'm not paying $13 for a goddamn sub. Are you kidding me?
I mean, especially since they got rid of roast beef. I mean, come on.
Well, they never actually really had real roast beef anyway. But that's,
well, I mean, it was more roast beef than Arby's. No, not really.
Not really. Not really. But yeah, so I even back then, and that's when I realized that they had like redone their entire menu, and now they had all these so-called specialty sandwiches that were expensive as fuck. And I was like, you know what? I got it because I was starving, but that's the last time I've eaten Subway. And there are 2 in the town next to me. There's one inside Walmart, and there's one next to the liquor store that I go to every once in a while, and I'm like, nope, not setting foot back in there because it's too fucking expensive to. I mean, and it's not. It's first of all, if you've ever looked at the ingredients list on their bread, you're eating tires. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? But yeah, this brings up back to the $20 an hour thing. I don't know if you know this because this story, as far as I know, broke either yesterday or today. But while that bill was being put together, one of the disqualifiers was if you bake and sell bread other than for the use of sandwiches inside your shops. And there's only one place in all of California that still currently does that, which is Panera. And one of his biggest donors, him being the used car salesman you call governor, actually owns 24 Panera restaurants. So you tell me that didn't happen on purpose.
Well, and that's like, I mean, I asked Jen from Red State, hey, since you're big on the Gavin Newsom thing right now, see if you can find out what he pays his winery workers. And unfortunately, it's in a blind trust and everything. I mean, he is actually doing it right. So it was like that information couldn't be found out, and it's like, God, I mean, wouldn't that be great if he was like paying his, the Mexican migrants like Ernest and Julio Gallo wages? That'd be fantastic.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway,
so but yeah, what's grinding your gears?
Hang on just a second.
Oh, by the way, Jeff, I don't know what it is about the USA we grew up in side of that. It actually looks fake. Like heavily overbrushed or something.
All right, hang on. Sorry. I had somebody walk into the studio. Anyway, but yeah, speaking of, still looks better than the one on the right. Just saying.
Well, yeah. I mean...
But yeah, I'm pretty
if
sure there was
chat,
some airbrushing going on there.
Meme, 2 pictures of Britney Spears, OG Britney Spears and Britney Spears with the knife dance. The USA we grew up in and the USA we now live in.
Well, I mean, let's face it, there was lots of airbrushing going on back in the day, so that probably wasn't that.
Well, but I mean, still, so heavily over photoshopped, like filters upon filters. It really goes into the, I'm going to make a psyop out of it.
Might as well. Pretty sure Britney Spears has already been through about a dozen of those anyway.
Yeah, Britney is definitely a monarch puppet. I'm sticking to it. And if you don't know what that means, listen to Juxtaposition.
I was going to say, if you don't know what that means. Oh, but anyway, so yeah, I mean, short of, the only other thing that's really kind of caught my attention this week, and I've been making tons of fun of it, and apparently I'm an asshole for it, according to people on Twitter, is the dude that self-identified as a charcoal briquette and got to live out his dreams.
You know what? No, we've got to the candle that burns twice as bright burns only half as long. No, you absolutely need to mug it. It's like we were talking about during Toxic Masculinity. That particular Tide Pod challenge needs to be short-lived, but it's definitely going to have to be a thing for a minute.
I was going to say, does it really need to be short-lived, though? Because wouldn't it take care of a lot of problems if it wasn't?
That's... But, being the good and charitable person that I am, especially on Twitter.
And honestly, if you hadn't already done it so soon, when the one terrorist wannabe dude was bitching about how you can't hijack planes anymore and you can't do this and you can't do that, I almost quote tweeted him and been like, and said it'd be cooler if you had. I was like, no, that's too soon. But I wanted to so bad. But anyway, but yeah, instead I quote tweeted him and said, they didn't really stop the last guy that self-identified as a charcoal briquette, ...
Right.
But yeah, Stacy brought it up today, and she's like, so what happens when they start setting themselves on fire while rushing into buildings and stuff? And I'm like, I guess we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there, because it looks like that's where we're headed. And then I was kind of weirded out when I figured out Secret Service was looking into that, and then I found out, I guess, Secret Service controls the response calls to embassies, and I was also only tangentially aware that they had a uniformed division. That kind of scares me. It's like we have federal police or something.
We do.
Didn't think we were supposed to have those.
Low key, and it's we do stuff too. But I love the line from Eureka. It's like, I'm a U.S. Marshal, so technically the United States is my jurisdiction.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah, never tell a marshal they're out of their jurisdiction. Okay, so we got, okay. Yeah, okay. Crow, I was being charitable. I am all for this Tide Pod challenge lasting forever. Until the last commie, go fucking terrorist sympathizer goes to fucking, rest in powder.
That was something else I almost tweeted out. I'm like, I'm going to get suspended. I better not. Because everybody was tweeting out rest in power. I'm like, don't you mean rest in powder? But no.
I did tweet it, so.
See. But anyway. No, I
keep telling people we're in Twitter, Bruce got suspended, but it was actually kind of like, I can see why the algorithm tagged him, and I know that it's going to get lifted because he was talking about basically how Muslims toss gays from buildings. But the way that he wrote it made it sound like suggesting it rather than condemning it. So I can see how the algo picked up on that wrong. But I've been telling people, this is Twitter 2.0. We're back in the Wild West now. I use retard like a comma now.
I've noticed. I actually try to stay away from your timeline now, because every time I come onto your timeline, I just start beating the crap out of the retards that are on your timeline, and it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I haven't been to bed yet, and I'm like, fuck.
A couple weeks ago, I did that when I went into work. Sorry I'm late. Someone was wrong on the internet.
Oh, the funny thing is, it's kind of my job now to pick on the idiots, and I still.
Yeah, I see. That's just it's living your best life.
No, but
I haven't tried, because one of the things that I used to love doing too is just coming into a thread, just going, "What faggotry is this?" And I haven't tested those waters yet. I think I'm going to let Gay Biker Dad and Bruce test those waters for me first, and then,
because at least then they can play the "we can say it" card, if nothing else.
Okay, so I'll have to go check that out, Crow. I love the Fat Electrician. I know we've talked about it on the show. Jeff and I have talked about it too. Fat Electrician is one of the best Twitter channels for just absolute historic snark, military history snark.
Yeah, I've only watched the one, but I have to admit, once I watched the one, I was like, because I was exhausted when you sent me the link. I'm like, okay, I'll watch a couple minutes of it, and then I'm sure I'll probably hate it. And then it was like 20 minutes long, and I watched the whole fucking thing. I was like, damn it.
Damn it.
Oh, but yeah, now I'm gonna have to go find the channel and follow along, because he does really good work. I mean, as somebody that tries to do these kind of things and is still trying to figure out the best, most efficient way to do them, I'm very pleased with what he puts out.
No, and Crow, you're right. He speaks fluent veteran, but in a way that veteran adjacent get the joke too. So, but yeah, he was a combat medic. If you're.
I still love the fact that he's like,
now,
yeah, we completely decimated Iran's what was it? I guess it was Navy. Iran's army or Iran's navy. He's like, yeah, all 2 ships.
Yeah. Well, and a couple oil derricks.
Well, I mean, the oil derricks kind of deserved it. I honestly don't know why we haven't just gone in and destroyed their ability to produce oil right now, since they're being assholes again.
Because you don't fuck with the production of liquid dinosaurs.
Somebody needs to. I mean, we were energy.
That's where Iran went wrong.
We were energy self-sufficient until this dumbass came into office. So we could have nuked their oil, not nuked, but you know what I mean. Although I guess I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that either, because as far as I'm concerned, most of the Middle East should be glass. But can't say things like that without getting in trouble.
Yeah, I haven't started using red baloney mist, but I have been using main character. And he thought he was going to be the main character of the day.
Oh, it's just, I don't know. The whole world is crazy, and it's like you started the show, and for some reason it didn't even occur to me until you said something. I have not seen one crazy thing about Black History Month this month.
No, and that's just it. It's just like they can't top the crazy out there, so they're not even trying.
Well, I think part of it is I don't, because, I mean, let's face it, White History Month, or Black History Month is a white guilt thing. I think, I don't think they know how to deal with it right now, because I know everybody said it wasn't a thing, but every freaking social media channel I go to that has people of color on it right now are so pissed off at Joe Biden they can't see straight. So I don't think they know how to handle it. I mean, because, you've got Chicago up in arms over the whole sanctuary city thing, and most of the people that are screaming and yelling about it are people of color. A lot of the people screaming in New York City right now are people of color. You had 14% in Michigan last night vote undeclared because they were trying to send Joe Biden the message. They were expecting 10 to 15,000 people to do it. Almost 100,000 people did it. And then the media tried to downplay it, even though it was 10 times bigger of a deal than anybody thought it was going to be. And then, of course, the media is always like, well, Donald Trump is underperforming in every poll. And I'm like, I don't know about y'all, but after being called a terrorist 40 million times, I wouldn't be telling anybody I was voting for him either.
Right.
I mean,
it's just... It really is bizarre. And the other thing, too, is it's like, okay, so, I mean, you've got the usual people who are out there, like, the awfuls, that are usually out there making the biggest brouhaha about Black History Month. They're so wrapped up in fucking Gaza right now and the Palestinians, I don't even think they know it's February.
No, they probably don't. They're gonna wake up after tomorrow and
they're the loudest about it. I mean,
well, they're gonna wake up on Friday, realize it's March 1st, be like, oh shit, we missed the entirety of Black History Month because we were too busy bitching about Gaza.
And if you don't know what an offal is, it's an affluent, white, female urban leftist. So
that was not where I was going to go with it.
Okay.
A fluent, white, fucking useless loser.
That too.
Just say it. But anyway. But yeah, I mean, it is unfortunately
They're the ones who are out there.
Predominantly female.
I found out something new. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But
You're fine.
While we're talking about awfuls, I found something new. They're the ones who will frequently drop turf on you and not know what the F in turf is. It's feminist.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
So, to call a woman a turf, you are actually complimenting them while you're insulting them. Because that was the whole thing of, that was the big fight between second and third wave feminism third transitioning to fourth, interesting choice of word there. Third transitioning to fourth wave feminism was when the trans exclusatory rad femmes turf started saying, no, not in our spaces. And they were all, fuck you, you just, blah, blah, blah. And now they're like proven right. So,
well, I mean,
sorry, that was my little pro turf rant.
No, I get it. It does make sense though, because I mean that's another movement that right now doesn't really know what to do with itself, because you've got all the people that are like men can be women too, and then you've got the actual feminists that are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, and I mean, you've got LGBT doing that too. That's like, because them and feminists are like, what the fuck? This is what we fought for? I don't think so. To be erased by fucking weirdos.
And I mean, the other thing is, I think another reason why, I mean, the feminists have been pretty quiet lately. I mean, other than, of course, the ability to abort children up to age 21. But I also think it's because there are now doctors that are coming out and saying, hey, all this, gender affirming care is bullshit. It doesn't actually do anything. But we knew it was going to happen eventually, because everybody's acting like this is something new. This has been around for a long time. It's just nobody was talking about it yet. So some of the people that were actually the pioneers in this shit, that listened to all the insane people who were pioneering the arguments for this shit, are now old enough that they're looking back going, I destroyed my body, I destroyed my childhood, I can't have kids without special assistance now, and I'm trying to retransition back to where I started, because it didn't fix anything. So, I mean...
Yeah, I'm still depressed. I'm still suicidal. So maybe the problem wasn't, maybe the problem wasn't, a helicopter parent who noticed that you like to wear dresses. Or that you like, it's, again, fucking awfuls.
Well, I mean, it's just like, with Gracie and her little friend that's kind of become one of my adopted grandkids. When they play together all the time, they take turns because it's just two girls, and one of them's like, okay, it's my turn to be the brother. And everybody was freaking out about that at first. I'm like, just let them be kids. Shit, they don't even understand what they're saying yet. Yeah. They're 4. Let them be kids.
Right.
I mean, that's like when I was 5 and wanted to be Godzilla. Nobody freaked out and took me to the doctor because I said I wanted to be Godzilla at age 5. Come on now.
All right. I wanted to be a fire truck. I mean, fuck. Nobody fucking Optimus Prime to me.
I know, right? I was going to say, by like age 10, I really wanted to be Optimus Prime, but,
Yeah.
I couldn't do that either. But... I don't know, everybody just makes such a big deal about things that shouldn't matter, and they blow them up into these big-ass things. I mean, that's like everybody freaking out over this dude lighting himself on fire. I'm like, look, first of all, I don't care how cogent he seemed. I don't care how articulate he seemed before he lit himself on fire. First of all, if you're protesting for Gaza, you're already mentally ill. There's just no other way around it, because if you're protesting for these people, then there's already a problem with you, because that means you are oblivious to what actually happened in history, which makes you a fucking retard. If you light yourself on fire in protest of these people that are raping women, beheading children, and all the above, that makes you double fucking retarded and mentally ill in my book. So I don't want to hear this, well, he was clear-eyed and sane when he lit himself on fire. No, the fuck he wasn't, or he wouldn't have lit himself on fire.
Well, not just that, but I'm pretty sure that if you just, you doped him full of Clopin and fucking Valium and then sent him out into the street to, with a gas can, you're going to see him, Relative to the situation, yes. While you're sitting there talking and dumping gasoline all over yourself on the ground, and then start dancing in it, fucking Ferrum or the dad. Anyway, I'm so used to making Ferrum jokes, I forgot the dad's name from the Steward of Gondor. Anyway, yeah, you're oiling yourself up too, and you're sounding fucking, completely sane while you're.
I'm sorry.
Going fucking Richard Pryor without the crack pipe.
I refuse to accept that anybody that, as you just put it, went Richard Pryor without the crack pipe was not insane when they did it.
No, he was absolutely insane. I mean, the argument is that is weapons grade copium. That is trying to, again, that's trying to martyr the martyr. That's like, oh, hey, look what a good martyr he was. He was sane and cogent, and no, he was fucking retarded. Absolutely batshit insane. Those of us at batshit crazy industries do not like to be associated with such frivolity and shenanigans.
I need some frivolity and shenanigans. I'm just saying.
Once you embrace chaos, it all is.
I'm getting there.
I mean, it's I see people get so mad about the news and everything. I'm just like, okay, that tracks. I can't get mad about it anymore. It is just so absolutely absurd. I live in meme world.
I mean, we literally have just crossed the Rubicon as far as stupidity, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like today, Joe Biden came out and gave a speech about how crime is down. I'm like, what fucking world are you living in, dude? Maybe the reports of crime are down because everybody knows it doesn't do any good to report them anymore, but crime itself is not down.
Well, yeah, when you stop reporting robberies go down. That's weird how that happens.
But, I mean, I saw people...
That's the central tenet of reformative justice, is that you take away the crime, then you take away the criminal.
I mean, I saw people actively trying to defend what he said. Well, the truth of it is the statistics are right. I'm like, the statistics don't mean shit when you've got businesses closing down everywhere because they're tired of being robbed. The people just don't report the crimes anymore because it doesn't do any good to report them.
In Seattle, did they stop reporting them because the cops stopped showing up?
Probably.
Huh. Weird, right?
Interesting how that works, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was another.
Yeah, no, that's dead right today. Too. Once you've reached a certain age, the words "this is the most important election for this is the most important" has no meaning.
I mean,
because they're all the most important election in our lifetime.
I mean, I am kind of burnt out on that. It's kind of become the whole 10 years and the world is going to die spiel for the right, because it's like
it's the whole threat to democracy, all of the platitudes and.
I mean, but the funny thing is now the left has embraced that. Remember how that was always our thing? This is the most important election of your lifetime. Go out and vote. Now the left's like, if you want to save democracy, you have to vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden can't even spell democracy anymore, motherfuckers.
Joe Biden can't spell Joe Biden.
Oh. And then, this happened while we were on the air. It started coming out while we were in the middle of doing Toxic. And apparently, Hunter Biden has started using the I was drunk and I was high defense for some of the things that were brought up in his testimony today. Like the WhatsApp.
That's the Twinkie defense for Biden's.
Right? Like the WhatsApp message that says, hey, I'm sitting here with my father and blah, 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 blah. He's like, first of all, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I was high and I was drunk and I accidentally sent it to the wrong people and I wasn't sitting with my father. And I'm like, dude, you mentioned them by name in the text. Not going to work, my dude. Not going to work, my dude.
I mean, you'll fool the media, but you won't fool, the people.
You'll fool some of the media. The media that wants to suck your dick. You'll fool them, but you ain't going to fool
No, that's what I mean. Yeah.
But yeah. Oh.
So what are you watching now, man?
Let's see. What have I been watching? Well, as I mentioned last week, Halo's out. I did watch Quantum Leap recently, the newest one. Have actually been pleasantly surprised by the second season. I wasn't a big fan of the first one. Discovery comes out next month, so I'm kind of curious to see what's going to be happening there. I tried to watch the new Aquaman movie last night because it's out on Max, but I made it like 10 minutes in before I passed out. I'm not sure if it's because the movie sucked or because I took a gummy, though. So I may have to try that one again. Other than that, I've been rewatching Alias just because Jennifer Garner. So,
shit, Richard Lewis died.
yeah, I actually meant to mention that earlier, and I forgot.
Okay.
But yeah, that came out today too. So, it used to be they only died in threes. Now they're just dropping in packs. So I don't even know anymore. It used to be a rule of celebrities die in threes, and now it's like, all bets are off, motherfucker. Because it's just like bam, bam, bam. It's like every time I turn around, we're losing another one. It's one of the things I hate about getting older, though. Have you ever noticed that when you're young and you're at funerals, you're like in the back row, nobody knows who you are, and then as you age, you get to the middle, and then eventually you start having to sit in the front? That really sucks.
Yeah.
Although lately I've been doing most of the funerals that I've been attending, so I'm not sitting anywhere because I'm standing. I've done 3 funerals.
Which is, yeah, and then you're at the front, so.
Done 3 funerals in 4 years because everybody's like, oh, wait, you're a minister? Are you going to charge us to do the funeral? Oh, no, but an honorarium would be nice. That didn't happen. Anyway.
Yeah, you know.
Something
for the effort.
Everybody wants something for nothing. So what about you? What have you been watching besides your eyelids?
Okay, so last week I talked about how fucking unwatchable Voyager is now. I mean, I'm sorry, but Jerry Ryan's ass cannot carry that show anymore, much less her tits. It was so not holding up. And, what makes it worse is when you see the absolute worst opinion on fucking Twitter. They're followed by Jerry Ryan. So that's kind of like... So in order to cleanse the palate, I went back to the Corendemic season of SG-1. So I'm doing that right now just to clear that experience from my brain pan. And then, I don't know, find something new to watch. But yeah, I needed to... I needed a mental sorbet.
I don't blame you. That's actually part of the reason why I started watching Alias. What I thought was funny, and I know this is more like culture shift territory, but what I thought was funny was the story that came out earlier this week that pretty much everybody's given up on modern TV and they're binge watching older shows now. It's like, gee, can I have anything to do with everything being woke and fucking stupid now?
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, so you can kind of blame a little bit of that on COVID, because there still is, all that backlog coming out, and anyway, so there's still that whole log jam that's getting pushed out. So everything you're seeing is COVID brain, and that's not helping. But yeah, everybody's sick of this shit.
I mean, it's just funny. I mean, because everybody was like, Suits was the most watched show on Netflix for like December and January, which one of the things I don't understand is Netflix somehow only secured the rights to do like the 8 seasons instead of all 9. So I had a friend who was frantically like, I just finished the 8th season and I know there's a 9th one. Where can I watch it? And I'm like, Peacock. They're like, I don't have Peacock. I'm like, it's free. Go get Peacock. The free version of Peacock now sucks, by the way, but there is still a free version of Peacock. You don't get.
See, I can't do fasts. Babylon 5 is on a fast, and I just can't.
Well, I mean, everything's turning into a fast now, unless you pay for the top dollar. I mean, hell, even Prime is like, watch this limited commercial, and then you get to watch your show. I'm like, fuck you. And this is coming from a guy who's been chasing ad revenue for 16 years, but I'm like, why? I'm paying for a that's one of the things that used to piss me off about paying for cable. Like, if I'm having to pay for TV, why the fuck are there commercials anyway? If I'm paying $160 a month for TV, why do I have to listen to commercials at all? Because that's how the channels make their money back for what we charge them for being on our service. That's not my problem. If I'm paying $160 a month for TV, I shouldn't have to fucking watch commercials. I don't give a damn. But yeah, that's why, I mean, and everything's turning that way. But it's because the whole streaming model is collapsing in on itself. You're noticing now there's more and more streaming services that are gobbling each other up. So eventually there'll be like 2 left and we'll be fighting over cable providers again now. I mean, last I checked, it looks like Paramount Plus might actually merge with Peacock soon. So I'm like, I better not keep having to pay for 2 subscriptions if this happens. I'm just saying. Because I have both. I should only have to have one now. And then you've gotten to the value added thing that like Prime and everybody's trying to do now. Well, you can use Prime and you can pay $5 a month to get your this, and this, and this. And I'm like, so you want me to send you another $30 a month to get 5 other services? No, thank you. And that's honestly one of the things that really pisses me off about Prime. They need to have just like a default setting that just lets you, not just one little section, that lets you see everything that you get with your Prime subscription, and that's it. Because I'm so tired of seeing something on social media or something that looks interesting, and then I go look it up because they say, oh, and you can get it on Prime, and then I go look it up and it's, you gotta rent the shit. I'm like, I'm already paying a monthly subscription to you assholes. I'm not doing pay-per-view through Prime. Now, if I can buy it for cheap and buy it and keep it, then I will. And I've done that with a couple things. I bought the original Iron Eagle. And then, what the hell is the one that should have been Smokey and the Bandit too, but wasn't, that had the dude that played
Cannonball Run.
No, not that one.
Or not Cannonball, Hooper.
Yeah, Hooper. I couldn't find that anywhere else, and Brian had it for like $3, so I bought it, and I watched it like 20 times. So I've gotten my money's worth for $3. But I mean, if I can buy it and keep it, that's one thing. But if I'm pay-per-viewing it, I don't do that shit anymore. I'll just wait till it comes onto one of the streaming services that I'm paying for, which is why I tried to watch the Aquaman movie last night, even though I've heard it's trash, because it's free for me to watch it now. So I'll make a determination for myself if it's trash.
But, you know what's funny is I'm getting ready to dump Netflix. I realized I haven't watched Netflix in forever.
The only reason I haven't dumped it yet is because when I told my kids we were going to dump it, they made me put it on their card. They're like, if you're not going to pay for it anymore, we will. I'm like, dude, it's $25 fucking a month anymore. We don't watch it enough. My daughter's like, but I watch Supernatural and everything else on there. I'm like, fine, you guys can pay for it then. I mean, technically, it's basically me paying for it anyway, but still.
I mean, I'm kind of thinking, okay, so I can wait to find out if Shadow and Bone's going to do another season of Carnival Row, and I mean, I know they're still talking about doing The Witcher, but it's kind of like that. Okay, so dangling that carrot in front of me, but still.
Well, I mean, and that's why. I mean, honestly, what I used to do back in the day, because when there was 2 or 3 to choose from, they would always put out content at different times. So what I would do is get one for a month or so, until I watched everything I wanted to watch, and then move on to the next one, and then move on to the next one, and then by the time I finished with the third one, it was usually time to go back to the first one because there was something else to watch again that I wanted to watch. So, and I think that's one thing that I don't think they've taken into account, because with the way they do all this stuff, you can binge everything that you want to watch within a couple of months and then shut it off and go pay for something else. I mean, and that's like right now, the only reason that I haven't canceled Paramount Plus altogether is if I ever decide I just want to not do like the highest package and skip all the ads. It's already built into my Walmart Plus if I want to watch it with ads. And I'm honestly considering, because I don't watch Max that much, I have it free through my phone provider. So I'm thinking about just logging into that account from now on and letting the paid one go, because I don't watch it that much. And the only reason I haven't yet is because I've noticed, like, especially if I'm trying to fall asleep watching something, if commercials come on, I automatically wake up. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but it's really annoying. I'm like, this defeats the entire purpose of me trying to watch something while I'm trying to fall asleep. But I spent like 3 months trying to break that habit, and it didn't ever work. I still had to have something on. It was usually like music or something, and I'm like, well, shit, if I'm gonna have to listen to something anyway to be able to go to sleep, I'm not able to leave the fucking TV on. But apparently, one of the last things that my counselor told me before I fired them, because I'm like, dude, you're giving me the same advice I give to everybody else when they come talk to me about their bullshit, so I'm not sure why I'm still paying to do this. One of the last things that he told me was, since I can't wind down without something going in the background, that it's just an ingrained trauma response from my childhood because I don't know how to deal with quiet. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. But anyway, I don't know. I still firmly believe that most of the people that practice psychiatry are fucking insane, because they're trying to explain for themselves what they go through by learning what the correct supposed mental state is supposed to be. I mean, let's not forget the fathers of modern psychiatry were high all the fucking time. I know that's all been frowned upon, and supposedly they've moved away from a lot of their methodology, but if you go read the new books, they really haven't. They've just changed the words around. It's kind of like a liberal.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I got into that argument with Zelda once and I had to let it go, because she's like, I'm taking these classes, and I promise you, they're not using most of that stuff anymore the way you're talking about it. And I'm like, would you like citations? Anyway. All right. So believe it or not, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I got nothing left. I said all I had to say tonight.
Me either. I got nothing in the tank. Although I guess we should. I need to find that soundbite again. It's funny because everything that's old that started when I first started doing this is new again. I need to find the Aloha snack bar sound bit again. Just for the next time somebody lights themselves on fire. All right. Where can folks find you, my dude?
You can still find me as Ordnance Packard on Twitter. I know, surprising, right? Then you can find me this Saturday with you doing Juxtaposition. We're going to try and do the show we tried to do 2 weeks ago.
We're going to do the show we're going to do 2 weeks ago. No promises that I will not be exhausted, though, because I have my 4-year-old's birthday party, 4-year-old granddaughter's birthday party on Saturday, so I may be a little tired, but we're going to do it anyway.
That's all right.
Yeah, we always wind up doing the party later than our actual birthday, because that way everybody can come. So that's this Saturday. But anyway, so that's going on. And, of course, you can find me tomorrow night doing Jen and Rick. You can also find me tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon, doing the Rick Robinson Show. And then Friday night I'll be on with Aggie. And Saturday night doing the makeup episode with you on Juxtaposition, which was actually on our regularly scheduled night, not a makeup night. So then I'm off Sunday. I will be doing, hopefully, a butt ton of writing tomorrow because I'm so far behind everywhere that I have tons of stuff I really need to put out tomorrow. And then other than that, you can find me on social media at RowdyRick73. You can find me as contributing to Twitchy, theloftusparty.com, and misfitspolitics.com. Still catching grief over the whole Operation Warp Speed article that I put out last month, so I'm kind of thinking about seeing if I can put something else out over there to piss more people off, just because it's kind of become my new thing. And
everybody needs a hobby.
Other than that, you can find me at RowdyRick73 almost everywhere. And other than that, I work too damn much and need to start finding time off, but I'll get there eventually, maybe.
You need to make time.
There's not enough time in the day for me to do everything I'm trying to do and have time off too. But yeah, I've already decided I'm too fried to try to write anything tonight, so I'm just going to grab a nap, get up early, and just write the hell everything tomorrow now that my laptop's working again, just see how many I can get cranked out. But we're going to go away before my co-host starts snoring in my ear again.
Right.
Oh wait, that was Dan.
That was the other one.
That was Dan, not you.
Dan's not real.
Bye, everybody!
Hail Hydra.
I took a little risk. Send lawyers, guns, and money. Dad, get me out of this.